So we've got a couple scoops. We got a couple things to definitely discuss here. First and foremost, the real Lex Luthor, or the one that we thought should be Lex Luthor, is a different movie. But before we get into any of that, Justin, how do you feel about reading?
Reading?
Yeah, reading books.
Books?
Yeah.
What is books?
You know those stacks of paper with words on them that you have to look at?
Yes.
Yeah. Who has time for that?
Books. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
What about?
Who has time for that? Really? Seriously?
Not me.
Yeah, but I've got great news, Justin.
What's that?
You can absorb all the knowledge of books without having to read with Audible.com. Can you believe it? And
Audible.com.
Yeah, Audible.com. And right now, Justin, you can go, and so can anybody else, can go to audibletrial.com/Robbie, get 30 days for free and a special free book. And when I say special free book, it's special because you get to pick it.
What?
Yeah.
And I don't even have to read it?
Completely free. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. Now I can tell people I read these books and not have to read them.
Exactly. It's like listening to the radio, but you're absorbing book knowledge.
Nice.
It's making you smarter, and you can still be lazy.
Nice. I enjoyed that. Speaking of being lazy and not reading books, let's talk about some moving books. A movie.
Yes. So we were talking about Bryan Cranston, who should have been cast as Lex Luthor. And when he didn't get that, he should have been cast as Jim Gordon. You know who he's playing.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Who's he playing?
Zordon. From the Power Rangers, Zordon. It's not a joke. Not making that up. Bryan Cranston is playing Zordon.
Bryan Cranston's not playing the bald guy in Batman versus Superman. No. He's not playing the most boss cop in all of the Batman universe. No. He's playing a blue floating head who hangs out with teenagers.
But you know what? That is making me want to see the Power Rangers movie more. Because I just want to know what they're going with. Because think about it, man. The guy who played Zordon in the show is probably still alive. If he's not, or he is, I don't know. Leave a comment if you know. But I'm assuming he's probably going to cost a lot less than Bryan Cranston. So they're definitely going to go for a different vibe. And it's making me really want to see the Power Ranger movie. I'm not going to lie.
I am looking forward to the movie because of that. Have you seen their costumes? The costumes that they used in the using in the new movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have. I mean, they're pretty cool looking. They're a lot. I mean, yeah, they're. I mean, what do you think about
them? They look like weird Iron Man, like biological Iron Man suits, and
the red one
for
especially,
anything
yeah.
else, it wouldn't work. But I'm not mad at it. I kind of think that it does work for this particular property.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's going to be really cool.
You know what they remind me of the new RoboCop.
Interesting. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I'm looking at a picture of him right now, and the blue one reminds me of the Blue Beetle, and the red one reminds me of Iron Man, like you said, and then the black one reminds me of the new RoboCop.
Right, and then the pink and yellow are just kind of there.
Yeah. They're just kind of there.
Sorry, ladies.
But hey, you know what? Speaking of movies, we got the scoop. We just got to watch the new extended version, the way you were supposed to get to see it in theaters.
Yes.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Now, I have mixed emotions about this, Justin.
Mixed? You mean like mixed
Yes.
between awesome and perfect?
No. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. And that's why I have mixed emotions, because I'm kind of angry that they didn't release that one in theaters. Like, why didn't they release the good version the first time?
Well, yeah, they didn't want to release the Zack Snyder version of it. I mean, what we got to see in theaters was the Warner Brothers version of it, and then when we get to see on extended cut is what we're supposed to see from Zack Snyder, the director. And the reason why is because it's an extra half hour long. And you know what happens when you got a theater? I used to work at a theater. When you got a longer movie, you got less showtimes. You got
I used to go
probably less money.
Yeah.
You used to go to a theater, yeah. But I mean, it was just a business decision on Warner Brothers' part. They thought, hey, everyone's going to go watch this movie, and so we need to get more showtimes available. The more showtimes we have, the more money we can make. And what they ended up doing is cutting out an essential half hour. I mean, this was not filler. This was not a wasted half hour. I mean, what we got to see in the extended cut just made the movie make sense.
Right. This was not Snake Way.
No, Dragon Ball Z reference. No, it was not Snake Way. This was absolutely necessary. This is like, I mean, it was just vital to the movie.
Right.
And it's just when we really get into it. I mean, I don't want to give away any spoilers right now, but when we really get into it, I mean, it makes what I thought was a good movie in theaters, despite critics' reviews and things like that, into a really near close to perfect movie, in a sense that in the theatrical release, I could understand not liking parts of it or not understanding why Superman is really so angry at Batman, or even vice versa. And there's a lot of almost plot holes involved, and it just didn't feel the way you wanted it to feel.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would call them plot holes so much as obvious bumps in the road that definitely didn't have to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And what the extended release did was it just kind of smoothed everything out, made more sense. It made the epic parts of the movie far more epic, and it just made the movie flow. Everything that the movie was missing in theaters, you got with the extended cut. And really, I mean, obviously probably most people haven't got the chance to see it yet, but if you ever get the chance to see it, I strongly suggest that you do. It'll bring back your faith in Zack Snyder as a director.
Right. And a lot of people are not really feeling Zack Snyder these days.
And you know what the funny thing is?
What's that?
The funny thing is, when Zack Snyder was getting all this heat, when the movie first came out and was getting all these bad reviews, he couldn't come out and just say, hey, Warner Brothers, cut my movie. I had a great movie. Trust me, you guys, everything you're complaining about, I answered. I did it right. But Warner Brothers, they cut it. And he couldn't say that, and he still can't say that. You know why? Because Warner Brothers are the people who hire him. And if he wants to keep working for them, you don't badmouth the people that hired you, even if you did everything right. Exactly. He couldn't bite the hand that fed him, and so now we got stuck with the movie we got stuck with without an answer for it. But hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast, you'll go watch the movie, you'll see it for yourself, and have your own opinion. But I mean, in my opinion, and I know in your opinion, the extended release, Zack Snyder's version, really is the movie we were wanting to see.
Absolutely. It's so much better. So real quick, out of 10, what would you give the ultimate edition of the movie versus the theatrical release?
Versus theatrical release, I would give it a solid 7.5. I enjoyed it when it came out. However, I did have a lot of questions.
Movie of all time.
Say what? Say that one more time.
That was one of our. That was not one of our. It was our very most anticipated movie of all time.
Oh man, yeah. The only thing that gave it a run for its money was Dragon Ball Evolution, which did not live up to the hype, to say the least. But I mean, Batman v Superman fell short of it. It fell short of it, but it wasn't a Dragon Ball Evolution. Right. However, the extended version, you got to give it real close to a 10, because there's nothing wrong with the movie. I wish so bad I would have gotten to see the extended version first, because I'd already watched the theatrical release 2.5 hour long movie 2 times. And so I've seen 2.5 hours of the real movie, kind of piecing together what I thought, were some of the things that were in the extended version.
And in fact, some of the things from the extended version are things that you and I speculated on. We're like, I bet this is how.
Yeah.
Surely this is the answer, but why is it not in the movie? But a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people didn't piece the puzzle together the way that we did.
And even still, it's nice to not walk away from the movie theater scratching your head, being like, why did they hate each other so much?
Exactly. So let's, is that because you got lice in the theater or because you were confused?
Yeah. I was just probably confused. A little of both. It was kind of a dirtier theater.
A little of both. All right. So let's move into spoiler territory now. Spoilers. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Are there about to be spoilers?
We're about to have spoilers.
Okay. Spoiler time.
Spoiler alert. Okay. So we're about to talk about the movie in detail. The extended version and what is different about it, what's new in the film. I think that, what's that?
And what's better? Just a comparison. Why it's so much better. Let's go ahead and just jump into it without further ado. I mean, at the very beginning of the movie. At the very beginning of the movie, I mean, you got a slightly extended opening scene with Bruce's parents getting shot, and that is vital because people loved the way that scene looked. Everybody knows the story plot behind Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot, but when you actually get to see it in the way Zack Snyder filmed the movie, it's just beautiful. And I know it sounds kind of weird because people getting shot, but
it was only like 2 seconds longer.
Yeah.
It was enough to give a little bit more of a gut punch.
Exactly.
Honestly, it lingered more on Martha, Lauren Conrad.
Yeah.
While Lauren she was on a date with Negan. Or Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, that was odd. If you're a Walking Dead fan, that's weird to see.
Fun fact, the poster in the movie theater, or the poster on the outside of the movie theater when they're walking out, is from a movie called Excalibur, and we'll get to that pretty soon because that's a little foreshadowing, a little bit of an Easter egg there. So anyway, after that opening and after Bruce Wayne learns to fly,
dream sequence. In case you didn't catch that, it was a dream by Bruce Wayne. He said that. I know that scene got some hate, but obviously people just weren't paying attention enough in the theater. He said it was a dream.
He did not take it. He did not make that up. That was directly from the comic books, and I've seen so many people get mad because he changed the characters. Like, he pulled right from the comics for the entire thing. Like, am I wrong about this?
No, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Some people, my parents, they think the right Batman is George Clooney. That's Batman to them because they didn't grow up, reading comic books. And I got to think people who don't think that this Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman, is true to the comics just don't read the comics.
I am looking this up right now. It looks like your parents are doo-doo heads if they think that.
I mean, yeah, correct? You gotta think something like that. Moving on from there. I was going to say, moving on from there, the next major thing that the extended version gives us, the theatrical version.
Real quick,
yeah.
I want to make it very clear that if anyone out there disagrees with us, you're automatically a doo-doo head.
There you go.
You can defend yourself in the comments. Okay, moving on from the extended open. What do we get? Tell me about this CIA agent.
Yes, CIA agent that gets shot in the theatrical version, with theatrical release. People know him as Jimmy Olsen if they were following anything like on YouTube or online or anything like that. Yeah, I know, right? On the extended version, he formally introduces himself as Jimmy Olsen. You get a little bit of some comical conversation between him and Lois Lane. So you kind of do get a heart tug, and you really feel it when he gets shot, because you just, if I hadn't already seen it, like I said before, this could have been the first time I'd watched it and it was the extended version, I would have been like, holy crap, they just shot Jimmy Olsen. Like, it would have really been like, man, what am I in for in this movie?
Right.
And they completely just threw that away in the theatrical version. And you know what? I mean, the fact that the extended version is just better than the theatrical version, that's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's not your opinion. That is an absolute fact.
Absolute
and if you don't think so, like you said, you're a doo-doo head or an idiot.
Yes. Or both.
Yes, or you just have a differing opinion. But
no. Not an option. Not an option.
Yeah. Okay.
We live in a smart world.
But I mean, going from there, after Jimmy Olsen, you know the difference. The whole scene was different.
The entire thing. We see how KG Beast was using the missiles to lure Superman in.
Yes, it was a setup. It was the whole thing was vividly laid out as a setup for Superman to get framed.
They wanted Superman there so they could frame him, and then they showed KG Beast killing people with. See, in the theatrical version, it made it out to be that they shot people with the bullets, and then somehow that framed Superman, and that made no sense. But in the Ultimate Edition, in the extended version, KG Beast flamethrowers everyone, and that is blamed on Superman because heat vision. They're assuming that he did, or they're hoping people will assume that Superman used heat vision. And we'll come back to that whole conspiracy later.
But it makes more sense.
It makes even more sense later in the movie. But one thing that I had a problem with in the theatrical version and in this version is that Superman claims he didn't kill anyone. But he definitely killed that guy. The
guy. That guy got hit by Superman going at least like 700 miles an hour and knocked through like 5 brick walls. But somehow Superman didn't kill anybody.
No, he's fine. He'll recover.
I mean, the only way I can think about this, and we've spoken about this before. The only way I can think about him like somehow saving this guy and not killing him and would be like if he was going so fast that he took the guy's arm from around Lois's neck before pushing him back. Otherwise, it would have decapitated Lois. Right. And then like turns around. He's got to have him like in his Superman aura or force field or whatever, so that the guy doesn't basically have his spine ripped out.
And that is
going at this acceleration.
That is a real thing in the Superman comics that he does. Yeah. His aura actually allows him to transfer his energy to other objects. That's why he's able to pick a boat up from the tip and not from the middle without it crumbling.
Yeah, unlike the Hulk. And then on top of that, he would have to like turn around in mid-flight and like take the hits from the brick walls, like turn his back to the brick walls and take them like that. But I mean, that's assuming a lot.
Like, why would he do that? I mean, just to save the guy. Like, why not just, zap his fingers real quick with the heat vision? Or why not zip over there and take the gun or something? Or why not do like Tom Welling and run really fast in slow motion and grab the bullet out of the air? That's a real point.
All good points. Tom Welling was legit Superman.
He was the best. He didn't even have.
I mean, that scene though. I mean, you got to admit that scene in the movie when he did that, it made you laugh.
Oh man, it was awesome. I did laugh. Didn't.
And then when you watch it the second time, when you hear him tell Lois in the bathtub, "I didn't kill those people," that made me laugh.
Yeah,
I was like, "Yes, you did. You totally killed that guy."
Okay, but I think that he was referring to the people who got fried, KGB flamethrower. I think he was talking about them. He's like, I killed that one guy, but not those other people.
Well, we need a double extended version where he's like, I didn't kill those people, except that one guy.
Yeah, except that one guy. He's dead.
Like, we needed to hear that. But, I mean, okay, maybe I'm just being a little too harsh on it. But moving on.
Now, Superman threw a couple missiles. That was super cool. You remember they were gonna nuke that whole place. Remember?
Yeah. They were getting ready. It was the government, was it? It was the government who was getting ready.
Government.
It was all orchestrated.
I want to say that was Argus. As a matter of fact, I read that somewhere. I'm not sure if that's true. Okay. Argus being the people who run the Suicide Squad.
Interesting stuff. Speaking of which, later on in the video, we might have a bit of a spoiler for the Suicide Squad.
Possible spoiler.
Huge possible spoiler that has not been in any source of media so far. None.
100% spoiler. We know everything. We are in the movie.
Yeah, but this is for later on. This is a huge reveal. If it is a reveal,
stick around. Go nowhere.
Totally is a reveal. So when we move on from the movie, though, when we move on to the Batman scene,
slacking off on the job, Justin. They were. You remember they were watching a football game.
Yeah, Metropolis versus Gotham.
And Metropolis was destroying Gotham.
Yeah, they were destroying poor Gotham. But I mean, Gotham just doesn't have Gotham College. You know, whatever it is, University of Gotham. They just don't have the money. They don't have the prestigious school of Metropolis. So I mean, it was kind of one of those.
It was Gotham City versus Metropolis State. If you saw on the little heads up display thing, whatever on the, I don't know football terms, man. I'm a nerd.
Yeah, but you know what's cool though? What's cool is you'll notice. I noticed this when I was thinking about it. The colors that the football team were wearing for Gotham were yellow and black, just like in The Dark Knight.
And the Metropolis team was wearing red and blue, which I noticed. I didn't notice the Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham was the same colors as they were on the trilogy movie of the Dark Knight series. They look just like them, which is an iconic scene with Bane blowing up the field.
Right. Whoa.
Football team, man. Oof. Ah, sorry. If you haven't seen that movie, go check it out.
Spoilers for a movie that's like, what, 4 years old?
5 years old.
4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. Okay, and so I speculated that that was intentional foreshadowing because Metropolis was so much better than Gotham, and Gotham got angry and picked a fight.
Yeah, you got to really understand the psychology behind Batman, though. I think you got to give him a little bit more credit than he's just angry because Superman is better than him.
I know, but it's a reductionist view of the whole thing, boiling it down to that level.
Okay, I'll give you that much.
Yes, give me that.
Yeah, you can have that. But
okay.
I mean, speaking of Superman, they did a much better job in the extended release in really showing you, making you feel like Clark Kent is a character instead of just Superman going around not talking to anybody like you had in the theatrical release. You had some cool scenes with Superman, like pulling a boat and all that kind of stuff. But you didn't really get to know Clark Kent as a reporter. And in this movie, you really have some really cool scenes with Clark Kent, like going through the streets of Gotham, researching Batman as a reporter.
This is something that you've actually complained about with the theatrical release.
Mm-hmm. I have.
That Superman had no characterization in the theatrical version. And it's not just you. A lot of people have complained about it. Pretty much everyone. And they said, Superman was a flat character. He wasn't doing anything. He had no motivation, blah, blah, blah. And but that's completely addressed in the new version.
Absolutely, 100% addressed, and you get to see not only more of his character, but you also get to kind of see why he's angry at Batman. Not so much to the point where he wants to kill Batman, but he wants to stop Batman. He
Right.
thinks that Batman is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but he needs to be stopped. He's taking the law into his own hands.
In the version that we just watched, the Ultimate Edition, he's given the command, I guess, the imperative from Perry White to go and write an article about the football game.
Yeah, the football game.
He's on sports, so he has to go to Gotham, and there's a quick little quip from Perry. He says, "Hey, don't let him take your lunch money." And he goes, and when he's there, he actually encounters a few people who are talking about the Batman and how they're afraid of the Batman. But he's on another mission too. He was looking for the lady that was from Nairobi, the African city that Lois was in.
Yeah,
he
at the
was
beginning of the movie.
Right at the beginning of the movie. He was trying to find one of the women that testified against him, saying that he killed everybody. He was trying to find her so that he could, confront her. And who knows what? Spoilers: he does not get an opportunity to talk to her.
But the reason why is made known. It's because this woman, what was her name? This woman from Naomi?
The Nairobian woman.
The Nairobian woman. Okay, yes. Anyway, the Nairobian woman is actually not at her apartment or complex anymore because she moves away. Spoiler, because her testimony at that court case, which was in the theatrical release, when she said, Superman killed her family and everything like that, she was made to lie by Lex. And it's made clear it's made clear in the extended version, which it all makes sense now because of the theatrical release. When she's giving her testimony, you're like, why is she saying this? She was there. She saw the guys shoot everybody, not Superman come in there with a gun and shoot people. It just didn't make any sense in the theatrical version, which, was one of the reasons I only gave it a 7 or 7.5. But I mean, this movie, it really goes into detail where it needs to go into detail. Yeah,
they definitely, it made more sense in this version. She was being, I guess, blackmailed or threatened by Lex and his goons. And that's why she testified against Superman, because I guess knowing the good nature of Superman, it wasn't an issue that he was going to come looking for her and kill her or anything, I guess. I mean, they definitely did a much better job. And Clark is slowly finding out about the Batman. And, there's another thing. They even make it a point twice in the movie, once in the theatrical cut, twice in the extended version, at least, that I counted, to say that Batman is not acting like himself. There's a new kind of mean in him.
Yeah, that was cool. I really I like that.
Yeah, and it's true. He's branding people, and this is something that we were very confused about. Why is it that if Batman brands someone, they get killed in prison? And and it made no sense in the theatrical version.
But it makes more sense in this one.
Yes, because Lex is killing or having people killed with the Bat brand on them.
Or at least this one guy to at least, really set it up and make Superman hate him even more, because you get to see the whole plot behind Lex really trying to pit Batman to fight Superman. He's trying to make those two hate each other, and it's made so much more clear in the extended version.
Yeah. So
everything from the testimony of that woman to the killing people in the prison, all the way to, guess what? The guy in the wheelchair when the place blows up. The guy in the wheelchair didn't even know he was going to get blown up. In the theatrical release, you are left to think that he went in there with the full intentions to kamikaze the building.
Yep, but he had no idea. And they made it very clear that, first of all, Lois was there at his apartment, and he had just purchased groceries, And why would you buy groceries if you're about to kill yourself? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's not us drawing that. That's not us drawing that line. That was something that Lois said.
Do what?
I said that's not us, like, you know, connecting the dots. That's something that Lois said. So
Lois says that. Yeah. And then they say, okay, well, what about the wheelchair? Why couldn't Superman figure it out? Well, because it was lined with lead.
Yep.
And it was a special kind of bomb.
Mm-hmm. So basically, in the theatrical release, you're left to think, well, I guess Superman wasn't paying attention,
right?
But in this version, you're not left with such a kind of, you know, careless Superman. They actually take the time to let you know why he didn't stop it. And you know what? Speaking of which, not only that, but you get to see why the people are mad with Superman about the building blowing up. It's not because they think that Superman blew up the building. It's made very clear in the extended version that they think that. Or you go ahead and explain this, Robbie. You'll explain it better than me.
So they're angry at Superman because they assume Superman would have known and been able to stop it. He was right there in the room with the guy. And so the idea, and it comes back to this allegory used with like God and the problem of evil, which they actually mention later in the movie. But the basic argument is, if Superman is aware of this and did nothing, he's complicit in the violent act, or he's not aware of it and is not all powerful, or something to that effect. But basically, it comes down to Superman did nothing when he was right there in the room with the guy. He did nothing to save all those people from dying, and as a result, he's partially responsible. That's another thing. Superman did save people in the extended cut, but before we get to that, Senator Finch knew about Lex's conspiracy before.
Yes. In the extended version, she knew that it wasn't Superman that killed those people in the scene over in Nairobi or wherever.
Right. Yeah, because the African lady, the Nairobian lady, told Senator Finch the truth.
Yes, there's a whole other scene in the extended version where she actually goes to Senator Finch and lets her know everything. So that's kind of why Senator Finch was so kind of offset with Lex before she went into the into the boardroom or whatever it is.
Right. And shortly after that, while Senator Finch and the others are in the trial hearing,
the Granny's peach tea scene.
Granny's peach tea scene. While that's happening, it cuts away and shows the Nairobian lady being killed by KG Beast. She gets thrown in front of a train.
I mean, you just have a whole character that's vital to the plot, and she's just kind of like pushed out of the movie.
Literally.
In the theater, literally pushed in front of a train. That's what they did to her in the theatrical version. They just kind of pushed her in front of the train.
If I were in a Ben Affleck superhero movie, I would stay away from trains. In case you don't remember, it happened in Daredevil. Daredevil himself pushed a man in front of a train.
Speaking of which, side note, season 2, Daredevil, very good on Netflix.
I haven't watched it.
I have, yes. 7.4 thumbs up. One of those thumbs got punished.
One of the thumbs got punished.
Punisher style.
Okay, so then the Granny's peach tea scene, super intense as usual. That scene,
but even more intense in the extended version.
And you see the look of terror on Mercy's face. Mercy is Lex's assistant.
Yeah.
And man, she figures it out. She's like, crap.
Oh yeah, she figures it out. Everybody's kind of got it halfway figured out, or at least two people in the room do, but they can't really do anything about it. I mean, it's just, for some reason, it's extended out a little bit, a few extra seconds, but man, does it make the scene, was it just me, or it felt like 5 times more intense than the theatrical version?
It felt more intense to me. I'd have to go back and see exactly what they changed, or if it was all in my head. I know that it felt more intense.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't all in your head, because it felt more intense to me too. I mean, it was just, it was a few more seconds. It was awesome.
Yeah, and so then Superman actually saves people at the Capitol. When the thing blows up, he's there. He's
blows up, yeah,
pulling people out, and then the cops and the EMTs shoo him away. It's like, yeah, we got this. Thank you. You're step back. We're gonna need some space.
Yeah, because people think that he could have stopped it. It comes back to that thing like Lex says later in the movie. You know, God can't be all good and all powerful.
Right.
And in this situation, people are assuming you put Superman in that same kind of category as God. You say Superman couldn't have been all good or all powerful. Well, in this situation, Superman's not all powerful because he couldn't see the bomb because it was enlaced in lead or encoded in lead,
which we don't know.
So he couldn't see the bomb. As a theatrical version, you never get that. In the extended cut, I mean, we've only watched this movie one time, and we understand all of these the deep metaphors and stuff in this movie, and it's amazing. It's a work of art.
Yeah. And you do not you don't know that yet. It's actually something that's explicitly stated with a character that completely was cut out of the theatrical release. Jenna Malone's character, some kind of Washington D.C. person.
Well, yeah.
So Superman saves people, and then he leaves. And then you find out that explicitly that Lex has been intercepting the checks from the wheelchair guy, and Scoot McNairy's character. I can't remember, Keefe or something. Wallace Keefe.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this: Lex's motivations in the extended version so much more clear.
It is
so much more clear. That to connect the dots, everything that he's been doing to set them up. He wants Batman to get that kryptonite.
Well, what
he wants him to steal it.
Lex wants one of two things to happen. Lex wants to prove Superman as a fraud, and he's got two ways of doing it. Either he gets Superman to kill Batman, showing his true colors, that he's actually evil.
Yeah, or that he's at least not all good.
Or he wants Batman to kill Superman, showing that he's not all powerful.
Yep, he's either not all good or he's not all powerful.
Yep, and that's what he says. I'm gonna expose.
Yeah, I mean, this is deep. This is really deep stuff. This is deep theological stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's. I think it's a lot more deep than Civil War, and I know I can get a lot of heat for this. But Marvel Civil War doesn't go half to this level. Like
not once during this movie did they say, "Hey, we're still friends, right?" Well, it depends.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
And quick side note about Civil War, it pisses me off that people treat it so much better than Batman v Superman. Because of the Martha scene, when Batman's got Superman there, like on the ropes, with the spear, 300 reference, by the way, he's got him there with the spear, and Superman says Martha, and then Batman like freaks out. He's like, "Whoa, what's going on? What are you talking about?" The exact same thing happens at the beginning of Captain America: Civil War. Literally the exact same thing, because Captain America's fighting Crossbones, and Crossbones says Bucky's name, and Captain America stops, and he's like, "Whoa, huh, what, Bucky?" And it provides enough time for disaster. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But people hate on that Martha scene so much, and I don't know why, other than the fact that they just really don't understand it.
It's dramatic. It is powerful. I mean, you're talking about a character who's clearly dealing with some post-traumatic stress. If anybody has post-traumatic stress, it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And this guy, like, he watched his parents get murdered in front of him, right? His dad's last words were Martha. And he watched his mom bleed and die, all right, suffocate from the gunshot wound. And he watched his dad call out for his mom. And they're covered in blood. And
it's sad. Yeah. Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
And there's a madman standing over them while he's saying, Martha, Martha. And then fast forward, what was it? 30. It was 1981. It was 1981 when they died, and it's 2016 in the movie when he beats up Superman.
Yeah, so math. But fast forward, you got Superman, who's a godlike figure, saying, "Save Martha."
He's gonna, and he actually. I don't know if it was in the theatrical version. I didn't catch it, but in the extended version for sure, he says, "It's Lex. Find him, save Martha."
Mm-hmm.
He says that, and this is the thing. Why would Superman not say, "Save my mom"? That's a big complaint that people had.
I don't know.
Because Batman doesn't know who the mom is. He doesn't know. It makes more sense for Superman to say, find Lex, save Martha. It makes more sense because, first of all, he's like dying and he's trying to get out as much as he can. He can't speak articulately. But he says, find Lex, save my mom. You're letting him kill her. And it makes more sense. I know that if I were laying there being it'd probably be you.
Yeah, stepping on you with a spiked boot on your throat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, with a spear.
Yep. By the way, interesting thing, I thought in the movie when he cut his face with the spear, same director as 300.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's a 300 reference. Because he actually, in 300, they say, tonight you'll know that a god can bleed. And in this one, he says, do you bleed? You will.
You will. It's like Zack Snyder kind of reused that one.
Yeah. Oh, he reused it.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I loved it.
What?
I'm not complaining. I love it. It's a good formula. But anyway, basically, the whole fight scenes with Doomsday and the fight scene between Batman and Superman, they're slightly extended. You get a little bit more in the fighting, but there's not a whole lot. But I'll tell you what, the biggest reveal, the biggest extended moment after this was at the very end when Batman goes up to Lex Luthor.
Oh, right.
Oh, at the funeral. Yeah, Batman pays for the funeral. That's
right.
Yeah, you never do that in the theatrical version. I mean, it's a nice thing to know that Bruce Wayne helped out Martha by paying for her son's funeral and everything. That's really nice. But what I was going to say,
hold on, that is a reference to the Bible when Jesus, dying on the cross, looks at John and his mother Mary, Jesus's mother Mary, and says, like, take care of her. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of references with Superman and Jesus. There's just a whole bunch of them. Like, for example, during the fight when Batman picks Superman up, he could have and throws him down the staircase. If you didn't notice, he picks him up like you're picking up a cross.
Yeah.
Like the same way that it depicts Jesus carrying the cross. And I mean, he could have picked him up in any kind of way. I mean, they did that on purpose.
Yes.
And it's just the little things like that that just add to the movie so much.
When Superman dies, Doomsday stabs him through the heart, whatever. there are 3 crosses in the background.
Really?
Yeah. It happens. They're right in the background, and Superman's laying there. Everybody's standing around. Lois is like holding him or whatever, and there are 3 crosses in the background made from the rubble.
That's pretty cool. And speaking of Superman getting stabbed at the end, you had something to say about the movie poster, or not poster, but matinee.
Yes,
at the beginning.
The movie that they were walking out of, that Bruce and his parents were walking out of, was there was a poster for a movie called Excalibur. And for, in case you don't know, and in case anybody else doesn't know, Excalibur is a movie where at the end the hero defeats the villain by stabbing him, but at the same time has to sacrifice himself because the villain stabs him back, and they stab each other and they both die. And that poster is hanging up when the Waynes walk out of the movie theater. And that's how this movie ends also. And it's a bit of foreshadowing. Oh, and when KG Beast has Martha Wayne, and he whispers in her ear, "Every time we say goodbye, you die a little." The song playing at the beginning of the movie, when the Waynes are killed, when that Martha dies, is "Every time we say goodbye, I die a little."
Oh. Yeah. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
They really put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going into the
there's a whole lot more. We'll go into Easter egg territory sometime soon, not today.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
But I think there was something that you really wanted to talk about, Justin, after the funeral. Actually, there is one thing that doesn't make sense to me, unless they're just cutting back and forth between time. Batman goes to visit Lex. Batman goes to visit Lex, but Bruce Wayne's at the funeral, and it shows funeral, then it shows Batman with Lex, and then it shows funeral again, and Lois drops the dirt on the coffin. My question is, how fast can Batman run? Do they flash at all?
Well, obviously done at different times, but there is something. I think, and I was talking about this earlier. We have the scoop. No one's talked about it yet. Suicide Squad, and I think it's in the last scene of the movie, in the extended version, not the theatrical version.
Yes,
and that's when Batman goes.
Steppenwolf in this one, the communion scene.
What?
Steppenwolf. They captured Lex. It actually shows them capturing Lex, and it's got the Steppenwolf scene.
Oh, yeah. It's not after the credits or nothing like that. Yeah, but yet, anyway. So last scene of the movie, when Batman's talking to Lex Luthor, he actually says in the extended version, they have places that could take care of you, that could help you get better mentally and everything like that. But I'm not sending you to one of those places. I'm sending you to Arkham Asylum, where I've still got some connections there. And the thing 100. Is, the Suicide Squad movie, how later? 6 months after Batman v Superman takes place?
Yep, it's about 6 months later.
So that's right, folks. You got to hear first. Lex Luthor, Alexander Luthor, is going to be inside of Arkham Asylum during the Suicide Squad movie.
100% confirmed.
100%. So you heard it here first, because he's not in any of the previews, nothing like that so far. So if he actually ends up in the Suicide Squad movie, this YouTube video from this little channel had it to you first.
That's
and
right.
My name is Justin, so I'm just going to take credit for it.
Yes, you're going to take full credit.
I'm taking full credit. Zack Snyder, he helped.
Didn't do very much. It was you. You figured it out.
Yes. So, what's your overall opinion about the extended version versus the theatrical version?
dramatically better.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I feel like we've really broken it down and systematically, almost scene by scene, and gave our opinions about it, about why it's so much better and everything like that. So if you had to give the theatrical version a 1 out of 10, Robbie, what would you give it?
The theatrical version.
The theatrical version.
I'd say probably an 8. Well, okay. The first time I saw it, I would have probably given it like a 9. And I think I did, as a matter of fact. I think you did too.
Yeah.
But now,
the second time.
And then we watched it a second time. It went down a little bit, but it was still good. I would say now, knowing this version's out there, I'd say that the theatrical version is probably a solid 7.
Yeah. And what would you give this version, the extended version, the ultimate version?
9.75. And the only reason that I wouldn't give it higher is because I know that Zack Snyder originally wanted to make a 4-hour movie. So I know that there's even more awesomeness that was withheld from us. Yes. Yeah,
I mean, I guess the only thing you can say about Zack Snyder and really say anything bad in this case is that maybe he should have been able to say the same amount of story. He should have been able to make it work with 2.5 hours instead of needing 3 full hours. If he could have told that story, the same story that we got in the extended version in 2.5 hours, obviously it would have been a better movie the first time around, not needing the extended version.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like he had already created the movie, cut the movie, and then they told him to cut it down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
that's kind of messed up.
Start all over.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't work. And then on top of that, I got to say one more thing positive for the theatrical version over the extended version. The extended version shows Ben Affleck's butt, and I'm not a fan of that. I think they could have left that out.
Okay. There are worse butts to have shown.
They showed Doomsday's butt.
Yeah, yes, they did.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could have showed they could have showed Wonder Woman's butt. That would have been better.
That's an opinion.
That's an opinion. If you agree with me, like this video.
And if you disagree, comment on the video.
Or comment either way. Just give us your opinions. You know what? Watch the movie for yourself. If you can't, if you have any questions or anything, leave some comments.
Yes.
Let's know your opinion. Which one is better? If you think the theatrical version is better, if you think, if for some weird reason you think Marvel's Civil War is better, or if you think the best superhero versus superheroes from Daredevil Season 2, Daredevil versus The Punisher, then hey, that's your opinion and you got one. Or if you want to take it even one step further and say Daredevil versus Elektra.
No. The greatest superhero versus superhero fight of all time was George Clooney versus Chris O'Donnell in Batman and Robin when they're fighting over Poison Ivy.
There you go, Batman versus Robin. That's what they should have called that movie. Robin.
Hands down, greatest superhero squabble of all time.
He is joking, so that everyone knows.
But
my parents might agree with you, so everyone's got an opinion, and it is what it is, and it's not anybody's fault if they have differing opinions. It's just that our opinion is the best one. That's a solid fact.
Yeah, like they say, opinions are like buttholes. Keep them away from me.
There you go.
I don't care. Well, Justin, let me ask you something. They just released some new Justice League concept art. Have you seen it?
I have. It looks good.
It's got all the characters on it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the Flash's costume, Justin?
Well, I know that it's a little bit more custom made by Batman. Batman helps him out with his costume, and parts of it are made from the spaceship. From the Kryptonian spaceship, which is
really?
Yeah. I watched a video on that. So I mean, it's very interesting. If they're going to go that way, it's real interesting to see what they're going to do with the Justice League movie, and I'm really looking forward to that movie. I got my sights set on the Suicide Squad movie right now, though. I can't wait for that one, and then the Wonder Woman movie. It's going to be pretty freaking sweet.
Yes, and this is coming from someone who doesn't now, not that you're a sexist, but you hate female superheroes. Historically, they've always disappointed you.
You know that they haven't made a good female superhero movie yet. I mean, you go back, you think about Elektra's movie, awful. Catwoman, awful. I mean, they really haven't been able to do it yet. So, in my opinion, which is the best opinion, if Wonder Woman is able to make a good movie, if it's a good one, which I think it will be, Gal Gadot seems to have a good hold of the character and everything.
She does.
Yeah, great supporting cast for that movie.
Remember that time that she cut off Doomsday's arm?
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times. But the supporting cast in the movie for Wonder Woman, Chris Pine, he's a good actor. He's, from Star Trek, if you didn't know. I think it's going to be a good movie. It's got all the makings to be the first it's got all the makings for the first good female superhero movie.
Right.
Who knows, maybe Marvel will even start making action figures for females.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. By the way, Marvel does not make action figures for Scarlet Witch or
Black Widow.
Black Widow, none of them.
Or Peggy Carter.
Yeah, good luck finding those action figures. But you can't find Wonder Woman.
There are Wonder Woman action figures, in fact.
Yeah, you can find those.
So the one thing that I would like to say, Justin, after all this, we've talked about these movies. Super excited about the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, which we have a confirmed fact. No, there's no chance that it won't happen because
Lex Luthor will be in the movie. And you know what? I don't see why he wouldn't be. He's in Arkham Asylum during the Suicide Squad movie.
He is 100% going to be in the movie. Not only is he going to be in the movie, he's going to be the main villain of the movie, and he's going to have his purple and green mech suit confirmed. Take it to the bank.
Look down on all that, but he is in Arkham Asylum during the Suicide Squad movie. That's all I'm saying. He's in there. If they don't have him in the movie, I would find it kind of bizarre. But you know what? The way Warner Brothers is doing everything, maybe he'll be in the movie, but you have to wait till the extended cut to see him.
It's probably going to happen. But let me ask you something, Justin. We've talked for about an hour now, and let me just ask you, have you changed your mind about reading?
With Audible, maybe.
No, I'm talking about regular books.
Whoa, why?
That's a good question, Justin. Why would you read a regular book when you can read it with your ears?
Yes.
Audible.com has over 180,000 audiobooks to choose from. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It is the #1 audiobook service online. And if you go to audibletrial.com/Robbie right now, you can get your free trial started. Justin, do you know what I've been listening to?
What's that?
I've been listening to The Hobbit Unabridged. As you know,
Unabridged.
I went to New Zealand for my honeymoon.
Yes, I know.
Yes, and so I felt inspired. And I decided to listen to The Hobbit Unabridged on audibletrial.com/Robbie.
Very nice.
Yes. 30-day free trial plus free book download of your choice. And then, look, it's super affordable because guess what, Justin? It's only $15 a month after the first month, which is totally free. You can't beat that. Yeah.
That's like 50 cents a day.
It's like 50 cents a day, Justin.
You could literally, just ask somebody every day for 50 cents, and odds are you'll be able to get that 50 cents. Just ask a different person.
Easy.
If reading is something that you like to do, Audible's the way to go. Audible/Robbie, right?
audibletrial.com/Robbie.
audibletrial.com/Robbie. And I get a free month if I do that?
You get a free month if you do that, Justin. Not only that, you get a free book download on top of that free month.
What? So I get a free month and a free book.
Yep, exactly. And if you don't have the money at the end of the first month, if you don't have the $15, guess what? You can cancel at any time with no repercussions.
Well, that sounds awesome.
It's not a contract. You can cancel anytime. And if you don't have the money but you want the money, I've got great news. Super great news. You ready?
Whoa, you're going to give me the money?
No, Audible's not going to give you the money. Well, maybe it'll give us the money because sponsor. But for our other viewers, no. But what you can do is take a cardboard box and write on it, "Need money for audibletrial.com/Robbie." And great news, most people will have pity on you if you fill out them all. No,
Comment on the leave your comments on the video, and who knows, maybe we will send you 50 cents.
We won't.
To pay for your second month. I said maybe.
Maybe. Support our Patreon. Make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Subscribe and you'll get 50 cents, maybe.
Subscribe and you might, yes, maybe. Probably not. Definitely not. So follow us on social media. Leave your comments below, like and share this video, and tell all your friends about us, because we're just two dudes. We're just two dudes talking about movies. And I think that's a wrap, Justin. What do you say? Let's say goodbye to this podcast.
Goodbye.
Bye, podcast. See you later.
See you later. Stay classy.
That's not our sign off.
Oh. Well, then you do a sign off.
We don't. Oh. In case I don't see you. No, that's Truman.
You say classy, San Diego?
No, that's not ours.
Well, we'll come up with one later.
We'll come up with it later. Okay, bye.
Bye.